What just happened? One moment you're scrolling through Spotify, maybe on your way to work, school, or just trying to lose yourself in your favorite playlist. And the next, you realize one song has been quietly rewriting K-pop history. Not with a bang, not with a scandal, not even with a feature, just presence, power, consistency. And the man behind it? He's not even around to celebrate. This is the story of Jimin's Who, and why it's so much more than just a song. Let's rewind to July 19th, 2024. BTS's Jimin drops his second solo album, Muse. And you know how it is, when Jimin releases something, the world pauses. But this time, something deeper clicked. No flashy marketing stunt, no Western collab, no viral dance challenge, just a song. Vulnerable, raw, emotional. And yet, day after day, Who refused to leave the charts. Not for one day, not for 1 hour. 300 consecutive days on Spotify's US Daily Top Songs chart. Let that sink in. A Korean solo track without an English version, holding its ground in the most competitive music market on earth. That's not just rare, that's unheard of. And it didn't just stay. It thrived. 137 is in the top 10, over 355 million streams in the US alone. The first and only K-pop solo song to hit #1 on that chart, 33 weeks on Billboard's Hot 100, the longest ever for a K-pop soloist. All while Jimin is serving no performances, no interviews, no promotional tour, just a song carried by listeners who couldn't stop pressing play. Because Who isn't about virality? It's about connection. It's about that ache in your chest when you miss someone, the 2 a.m. spiral, the quiet hurt you didn't tell anyone about, the song that found you when you didn't even know you needed it. You felt it, didn't you? That moment in the chorus where Jimin's voice cracks, like he's trying not to cry, but you know what he's feeling. That lyric that hit so close, you pause the track just to breathe. That's why Who didn't just chart. It stayed, because people found a piece of themselves in it, and they couldn't let it go. And maybe that's the truest kind of success. Not the kind that's loud, not the kind that burns fast and fades, but the kind that whispers your truth and stays. Here's the wildest part. Jimin hasn't even returned yet. He's still serving, but when he steps back into the world this June, he's not just returning to fans. He's returning to a legacy that kept growing in his absence. So now the real question is, what happens next? If he made history while silent, what happens when he sings again? You already know. If Who carried you, if it helped you heal, if it stayed with you when nothing else did, drop your favorite lyric in the comments. Let's build a wall of memories together. And if you still get chills when it plays, you're not alone. You're never alone. Because something tells me this is just the beginning.